Hello everyone. How to handle a polar cataract safely? Today I would share few tips. Postepolar cataract is a rare form of congenital cataract. It is usually inherited as an autosomal dominant disease, yet it can be sporadic. Several genes have been identified and it is highly associated with complication during surgery such as posterior capsular rent and nucleus drop. And the reason for the higher complication rate is the strong adherence of the cataractous opacity with the posterior capsule and the weak posterior capsule. So we have to change our surgical strategy and modalities to handle such cataract for a better outcome. Our main emphasis should be to maintain the antechamber pressure gradient, and we have to take all precautions to avoid sudden change in antechamber pressure. Oversized capsular access should be avoided to preserve the adequate anterior capsular rim to support the IOL in sulcus in case of need. Never overinflate the antechamber because it can give pressure on the weak posterior capsule. Before hydrodelineation, always remove the loads of viscoelastics from the antechamber and bury the cannula in the nucleus and gently push the fluid in the nucleus substances. Never try to do hydrodissection because it can give posterior capsular rent in the beginning. A good hydrodelineation separates the nucleus and the phaco becomes easy. To reduce the pressure on the posterior capsule, reduce the bottle height if you are using gravity fed systems, and if you are using active fluorisis, then reduce the intraocular pressure settings. I removed the antisubcapsular plate and exposed the nucleus, and then I started emulsifying the nucleus. Do not do much of the manipulation with the nucleus at this time because it can give pressure on the posterior capsule. In this case, the nucleus was soft, so I flipped it and I finished the phacoemulsification without any problem. Epinuclear plate removal is again tricky, and according to what Dr. Vasavada and Dr. Singh, the most of the posterior capsular rent happen at this time. Before withdrawing the phaco tip, fill the antechamber with viscoelastics and keep the phaco in step 1 mode or in irrigation mode to avoid the sudden decompression of antechamber. With the second hand, I filled the antechamber with viscoelastic and gradually I released the foot control, and when I was sure that pressure is properly maintained, I have withdrawn the phaco tip. Trick to remove the epinuclear plate is to grab it in the periphery and do not try to pull it towards the center. Instead, try to aspirate it in the periphery around 3 to 4 mm from the center. Try to release the epinuclear plate from all around, keeping the center attached. By this, we can exert minimum pressure on the weak central posterior capsule. Patiently, we can release the epinuclear plate from the periphery and try to aspirate the central part in the last. According to Dr. Rosher, chances of posterior capsular rent are very high during the posterior capsular polishing. Do not try to be perfect here. If posterior capsule has adherent opacities, we can deal it with YAG laser capsulotomy after 2-3 months of the surgery. Again, avoid sudden decompression of antechamber, so before withdrawing the IA tip, fill the chamber with viscoelastics and then gradually withdraw the IA. Fortunately, I completed my case without any posterior capsular event. Therefore, I implanted the single piece IOL in the bag. Always keep multi-piece IOLs standby for sulcus fixation in case of posterior capsular tear. Never ever try to implant a single piece IOL in the sulcus. Posterior polar cataract can be dealt safely if we emphasize on maintaining the antechamber gradient all the time. Early detection of posterior capsular rent and keeping the vitrectomy unit standby are equally important for the better outcome. Please feel free to share your experiences. Thanks for watching.